We get so many weird questions, or what we deem to be weird questions, about Medellin and Colombia in general, because we are already used to it, living here since 3 years now, but for you it might not. So I want to clear up some misconceptions in this video. Welcome to How to Expat. My name is Sam, and at How to Expat we help expats relocate. Today I want to talk about a little bit more general about Medellin, and in another part about Colombia, also about some misconceptions that newbie Medellin travelers will experience here when coming to Colombia, and the same thing what I experienced when I came the first time here to Medellin, Colombia. So the first thing is food. When you think about, like, when you're not very well traveled here in Latin America, you might have the misconception that the food here in Colombia is very spicy, that it has a lot of flavor, a lot of herbs and everything, and it's quite the opposite. Colombians actually hate spicy food, and compared to many other countries, I have to say that, is that the traditional Colombian food here is quite bland. So it's not something exciting. It's mostly what we call parrilla, so barbecue here, which is at the end of the day meat, some French fries or potatoes, something like that as a side, some beans, some rice. That's pretty much it. So that's kind of the rundown of the traditional Colombian cuisine. So no spicy food, no tortillas, no tacos, no something like that. That's a thing we get a lot, that people think that food in Latin America is all like in Mexico. That's not it, and also not spicy. So that's really the first misconception. And I just want to add a point here. A lot of people talk bad about the Colombian food, that it's not really good. And generally, I have to agree. Usually, the Colombian food is not very good. The thing is, though, you can get very good food if you go to the right restaurants. So if you go to a local place which sells a lunch for $2.50, yes, $2.50, you can get a lunch here. Of course, you will not get the best quality. And then complaining why the food is not the greatest, it doesn't really make sense to me. But if you go to a place where you spend, let's say, $10 for a meal, you usually get a very good quality. So that's another misconception around food. Then gringo pricing. That's one of the things. When I came, I was extremely paranoid. That's a lot of people are extremely paranoid. First of all, it's not, people like money, right? So they don't want to spend more than they want to. And another thing is, I think is also, especially for us men, it's kind of an ego thing. I don't want to get gouged because I think I'm cleverer than the other guy, and all of that. But the thing here, especially, or not only, but especially in Medellin, you don't really have to worry about that too much. If you have a good feel for people and you're not gonna go on, I don't know, some weird street hustler offering you a tour for $70 or something like that, if you just have a little common sense, the culture here in Medellin is not really to gouge people. It's a whole different thing, let's say in the Dominican Republic and other places in Latin America. Even just on the coast here in Cartagena or Santa Marta, you have to be on edge all the time, and negotiating and walking away and then walking back and negotiating again. All of those, like all of this fun stuff. In Medellin, you don't have to do that. The culture is completely different than in those traditional, let's say, Latin America touristy countries. It's way different. So you can let down your guard a little bit here in Medellin. You don't have to be paranoid. Not every taxi driver is about to try to rinse out another $1 or $2 from you. Actually, the opposite we experience usually. If you pay too much, like waiter or waitress will run after us with maybe if they haven't calculated right, and we pay too much, they will actually run after us and give us the right change back and all of that. So people in Medellin are usually quite fair, and even more on top of that, they will actually chase you down to give you your money back. Of course, an exception is if you do all of those party things, if you're going out with girls and stuff, that's a whole other thing. If you're in that world, which we're not really part of it and not talking about it. But of course, if you do the whole girl things here in Poblado, they are, they do it for money, and they're gonna try to rinse out every last dollar you have. Then rural. So when I came to Colombia and to Medellin, I thought like Latin American generally is mostly rural. Like there's not really too big of a city life, even if it's a city life. Let's say it's run down. It's not very organized, not shiny, not fancy. That's not the thing in Colombia. Medellin is a full-blown, full-fledged city. We have fancy malls, multiple fancy malls. We have, I think, even an opera, I don't know, but different museums. Like, there's really a full-blown city here. You can get everything you want. You can get a flat-screen TV on almost every street corner. You have very, very modern shops. You have chains like Walmart. The Walmart in Medellin is called Éxito. So you have all of that. So you don't have to worry about that. I don't know, you can't get some things you want here, or electronic appliances, or you can pretty much get everything you here. You can order stuff online. It's Medellin, not in every part, but in a lot of part of it, at least the most parts you're going to be interested in as a foreigner or as a tourist. They have everything you could wish for. Then the thing is that a lot of people come here with the exception, it's a little bit connected to my last point, with the expectation that yes, you have, I don't know, people come to Latin America and they think they're going to the Amazon, no matter where they're going to. The same was for me. I packed my big survival knife and my mosquito net here. Another thing, mosquitoes are not really too big of a thing here in Medellin. That's another thing, another misconception. But you don't have to bring your hiking boots if you just plan on going hiking once or twice. It's always funny if you go on a hiking trail, you can spot the gringos from far away, because the Colombians, they just wear sneakers and have a little backpack with their sandwiches, and you can see especially the European tourists. They have like these big hiking boots, and they look like as if they would go, I don't know, on a multiple day trip, even though they're just like in a little forest, a little outside of the city, in a very, very touristy area where local and foreign tourists go and hike for half an hour. So you don't have to bring all of that. Medellin is a modern city, and the little hiking trails you will have here are very well built out. At least as good as your normal sneakers will be sufficient, and you don't have to bring hiking boots and I don't know, this safari cap and all of that jazz. So that's another misconception. Then of course, dangerous, I have to put it in here. I think for people that actually live here, this is not really a thing, but of course this misconception is still out there. That's Colombia and Medellin especially is very, very dangerous. It's not like that. If you do some things with hookers and with drugs, yes, it can get dangerous, but even then, most people get allowed out here without any issues. But as I said before, that's not really the world I'm living in. The rest, people, I think, that watch this video, if you're a little bit street smart, if you know how to manage a city in the Americas, no matter if it's Washington, D.C., I don't know, Baltimore, Miami, if you know how to handle a city like that, you're gonna be fine in Medellin. Medellin is not more dangerous than those places if you stick to the areas you should stick to. If you go, I don't know, wander out and wanna, I don't know, walk around in some kind of weird neighborhoods, you wouldn't do that in Miami either. You wouldn't go to just, I think it's South Miami, and just wander around there in some kind of neighborhoods you don't belong and don't have business in. So it's the same thing here. You're gonna be fine if you're in Medellin, if you're a little bit street smart, and especially if you watch a little bit with who you party, and if you just keep away from those drugs and hooker stories, which are a part of Medellin. Of course, a lot of people come here to just do that, but if you don't do that, like, you're gonna be fine here in Medellin. Then another thing is, I think that also is kind of a thing that translates from Mexico. You hear a lot of stories from Mexico about the corrupt police there. I've never experienced, I've never been in Mexico, so I don't know that, but that kind of misconception also is brought here to Colombia, I think because of that. But in Colombia, it's really not a thing. The police officers here are very, very friendly. They're here to help you. They're not like, I've never experienced anything here. You hear sometimes stories where some kind of drugged up gringo is getting gouged by a police officer or getting extorted a little bit in the super party district of Medellin at 5 in the morning while, I don't know, being in some kind of side street or something like that. But in general, like 99.9% of the time, really, police officers are very, very nice here. You can ask them any kind of type of, or you can ask them questions or directions or anything you want. They're really, really helpful here and not a threat at all. Then yes, the other thing is that Medellin is only party. I just recently watched a video of a YouTuber that said, yeah, Medellin, he doesn't like it, it's just like it's too much party. But that's a thing that happens a lot to foreigners here, especially people that don't really stay months and months here, just maybe 1 or 2 months, is that they stay usually in Poblado. Poblado is the most affluent and most touristy sector in Medellin. And then they just stick there to the touristy party district. If you wander out, let's say 2, 3, 4, 10 blocks out of those, like one big street that is mostly the touristy sector, there is no party. It's family life. It's all easy fun and games, no crazy things happening and all of that. It's really just the people that just stay in those touristy areas in Poblado that have the feeling that Medellin in general is just party and nothing more. You can go to other neighborhoods than just Poblado, and as I said, even in Poblado, if you go a couple of blocks from this main street and main party district, it's all family life and it's not party at all. So that's another misconception. And then the last misconception is, of course, the girl thing. So a lot of people come here and think just because they're the foreigner that girls will just love them. And that's of course not the case. If it is the case, then it's not, let's say, a normal girl. It's a hooker. She's after your money. Again, that's a whole other story, but that's not the thing. Especially if you wander a little bit outside of the main touristy areas, where it's not so affluent. We're not, in Poblado, in this neighborhood, a lot of the girls are very, very well made up because they have the money to go to, I don't know, the fancy nail salon. And I don't actually know how the whole things work like there, but I think especially in Poblado, the pressure for women is just to look very dressed up and very nice all the time. If you wander around a little bit like that in Laureles, in Envigado, Sabaneta, or places, you see suddenly like the thing with the girls looking very, very nice and everything like that, and they want the foreigner, and all of that is pretty easily gone. It's just a thing about the party thing, about the hooker thing, but other than that, it's not like, yeah, that if you're a foreigner, that girl's just gonna ask for your number on the street or anything, which can be a good or a bad thing for you. That's for you to decide, but that's surely a misconception that is not true. Or at least I didn't experience it that way, and with the people I took to talk to, neither. Yeah, that was pretty much it for this video. Hope this misconception helped you a little bit to get a more realistic feel of how it could be like to travel and maybe to live here in Medellin, Colombia. I hope this video helped. If you want to support a video like that, don't forget that we have a Patreon channel where you can support the cause we do here on How to Expat. We always appreciate for everybody we have there. You'll also get access to exclusive videos and to kind of just chats and conversations with us a little bit on a more personal note. That was already it for this video. I hope to see you in the next one.